Tonight, Ari is on retreat with his school, and so it's just us Jews. So, thank you to everyone joining us on the Zoomiverse. We hope that you will enjoy our service. We're going to start tonight on page 330. 330. Ki Eshmera Shabbat. Ki Eshmera Shabbat El Yishmereni. Ki Eshmera Shabbat El Yishmereni. Oti leo meyad beno uveni. Oti leo meyad beno uveni. This is an old Sephardic song. Ki eshmera Shabbat El Yishmereni. Ki eshmera Shabbat El Yishmereni. Oti leo meyad beno uveni. Oti leo meyad beno uveni. Let's turn now to page 12 in our prayer books. So, as we read at the top of the page, Lechu neranana ladonai, naria letzur yishenu, nekadma fanav betodah, bizmirot naria lo. Come, let us sing joyously to Adonai, raise a shout for our rock and deliverer. Let us come into God's presence with praise. Let us raise a shout for God in song, for Adonai is a great God, the ruler high above all divine beings. So let's turn backwards again to page 2 and invite Lori up to lead us in our candle blessings. Amen. Thank you. They're right in the air conditioner.
I made sure they stayed on.
Move them to the middle. There's an air vent right there. That's why we invited the engineer to figure this out. There we go. We'll see. If they go out, they go out. Let's read together on the top of page 3. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. So let's turn now to page 20. That song of welcoming, Lecha Dodi. We're going to welcome the Sabbath bride, and then we'll welcome each other. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shahamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmianu el hamiyuchad, Adonai echad, Ushemo echad, L'shemo tiferet v'lidila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelha, Ki hi mekor habraha, Mirosh mikedem nisucha, Sof ma'aseh b'machshavat ilah. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Verse 5. Hitoreri, Ki va'orech kumi uri, shir daberi, Kavod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Please rise and greet the Shabbat bride. Boi v'shalom ateret ba'ala, Gam b'simcha u'v'tzohala, Toch emunei am segula, Boi chala. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat kabela. So I learned this week that it's a temple custom. I learned a new custom every week here. That it's a temple custom that at this point, turn to the people around you, wish each other a Shabbat Shalom. Meet someone new if at all possible. Shabbat Shalom. I know. So, See, now we need a service wrangler to get us all back together. I know. So one of the things that I try to do in services is to talk about simchas, happy moments, good things that happened in your life. Did you have anything in this week that really mattered, really affected you, raised your soul a little bit? I can tell you, I was so happy I got all the cues done for Rosh Hashanah. Well, I'm behind my usual schedule. You'll learn that about me. All right, so there's other simchas. Diane.
We have a woman that comes out April 1st, her name is Wendy Hatter, and she talked to us about one. The last presentation was about Latin America. So I met her at Kinder building at the Museum of Fine Arts. On the third floor is actually some Latin American art.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it is not Latin America, but it was delightful today. We spent a great deal of time learning about the art on that very modern, contemporary art on that floor. And then we went to lunch with Vietnamese, and she said it's wonderful.
Great. Fantastic. Iris. Uh-huh. That's true. That's true, you know. Really, and it raises you up a little bit. It does when you hear that. Well, you know, simchas are great. You know, we all have to have things in our lives that, you know, positive moments during the week. Sometimes we have to work for them, and sometimes they just happen. So let's turn now to page 28. 28, we're going to ask you to rise again as able for Baruch Hu. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Page 30. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim b'chokhma poteach she'arim uvidvuna meshane itim umahalif et hazmanim umesader et hakochavim b'mishmarotehem b'kia kirtzono u'volei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'hoshech mipnei or uma'avir yom umevi layla umavdil bein yom uvein layla Adonai tzavaot shemo El chai v'kayam Tamid imloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. On page 33 at the bottom, let's read together. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works in the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Hashem, Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Please be seated. We continue page 36. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ela asher anochi mitzavecha hayom levavecha vishinantam levanecha vedibarta bam b'shivtecha b'vetecha uvlachtecha v'derech uvshokbecha uvkumecha ukshartam leod al yadeha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkaru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kadoshim v'hechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lahem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet. On page 37, let's read together. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai, your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God. Page 40, Mi Chamocha. Mi Chamocha ba'elim Adonai, Mi Chamocha nehedar b'kodesh, Nora tehilot osefele, Nora tehilot osefele, Malchutecha ra'uvanecha, Bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Zeli anu v'yameru, Adonai yimloch, Adonai yimloch, le'olam va'ed. V'nemar kifad Adonai et Yaakov, u'gi'ala mi'arazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. On page 43, let's read together at the top. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts, and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. Page 44. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael Oti leolam, oti leolam, v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai Asa Adonai et hashamayim et haaretz v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. So let us continue now with Tefillah, page 46. Again, please rise as able. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzhak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'Nehem Laman Shamo B'Ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechayei Hakol Tarav Lehoshia, Morid Atah, Mechalkel Hayim Bechesed, Mechayei hakol berahamim rabim, somech noflim v'rofech olim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, shenei afar, micha mocha bal gevurot, Umido melach, melech meimit umechaye, umatzmi Mashiach Yeshua, v'ne'emanat halayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayei hakol. Ata kadosh, v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'hayom, hallelujah selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. You may be seated. On page 55, at the top, let's read together. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy, our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Page 56. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu ba'amcha Yisrael, utfilatam b'hava tekabel, udhi l'ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha, el karov l'chol korav panei el avadecha v'chonenu, shafoch ruchacha aleinu, v'tehazena einenu b'shuvcha l'tzion b'rahamim, Baruch atah Adonai, Hamachazir Shechinato L'Tzion. Top of page 59. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth, which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulcha na'eh lehoda. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael amacha, tasim leolam. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Ki atahu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Shalom Rahav Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom Rahav Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amacha Yisrael, b'chol et v'chol sha'a, b'shlomecha. Shalom Rahav Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom Rahav Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Let's take a moment now for our own reflection. Please pray silently. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael. We turn our thoughts now to the people in our lives who are struggling with illness, those whose lives are hard, those whose path towards healing is long. And so we offer this prayer for Sue Barash, John Deacons, Jane Ann Humphreys, Allison Powell, Rabbi Laurie Phillips, Melanie Pollock, Nancy Reingold, Rob Seltzer, Carmen Villarreal, Joan Adler, and Anju Sethi. And if you have any additional names to add to our list, please call them out. So, on page 253 in your prayer books, let's read that paragraph at the top. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. And let us say, Amen. May the Holy One of blessing reach out to all those that we've named, out loud and in our own hearts. And may they each find the path towards healing. Amen. So, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Nice to see you all. Thank you for joining us out here in the world out further west. Although for some of you, it's closer in. So tonight, I want to talk a little bit about our Torah portion because for those who are interested, tomorrow we start Bible and Bagels. And so we'll be studying the portion this Shabbat, and tonight's kind of a forspice, a little bit of an appetizer. We're at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning at Temple. So it's one of my all-time favorite shows. Do you remember the television series Northern Exposure? Yeah? It's about this young Jewish doctor living in a small rural town in Alaska. And in one episode, the doctor, Joel Fleischman, needs to find 10 Jews to form a minyan so he can say Kaddish for his Uncle Manny. When one candidate appears before him, a scruffy-looking guy in a full Eskimo suit, the doctor doubts that the man is really Jewish. So he challenges him with the only Jewish test that he can think of. He asks him to recite the Shema. Those 6 words of Hebrew do command a certain magic in the Jewish imagination. Even more than a secret password for Jews to identify each other, the Shema is like a password for identifying God. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. These words appear in this week's Torah portion, Vayetchanan, as a part of a speech that Moses delivers to the Israelites as they await our entry into the land of Israel. He implores them to obey their God and remain loyal to God. And these words are part of every morning and every evening service. They are the words that a Jew is supposed to say every night before going to sleep, and the words that we are supposed to say on one's deathbed, right before our final passage into the world to come. You'd think that there's consensus on what the words mean, but there isn't. So here's the translation of the Shema in the old Union prayer book, the Siddur my temple used when I was a child. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Do you hear the emphasis on that final word, one? This is a statement of God's uniqueness, a declaration of monotheism, and the belief that the universe is ruled by a single authoritative law. There can be no competing system to determine what is right and what is wrong. There's only one God who is the foundation of all that is true and right. Well, that's what my Sunday school teacher told me, and it never occurred to me that the Shema could mean anything else. That is, until I read the translation in our Plaut commentary. It's also the same one that's in the 1975 Jewish Publication Society translation of the Hebrew Bible. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord alone. Very different. The movement of the verb is changes the meaning of the verse considerably. This now is a statement of the attachment of God to the people. Our identity is inextricably linked to the God who is ours. No other gods could ever be ours. We are defined by our national relationship to this God, where the first translation is universal in its message. This translation is very particular. The watchwords of our faith are not about the world, they are about our special and unique relationship with God. And to be fair, these two translations have very different purposes. The Old Union Prayer Book wants to give people words to pray that will elevate their spirits and that will conform to their beliefs. The JPS translation seeks to convey the ancient meaning of the Hebrew as revealed by the study of its historical origin. Those differences in approach lead to real differences in translation. Here's another translation. To ponder, it comes from Mishkan Tefillah, the prayer book we use. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. So this translation puts the verb in both places. God is both the particular deity that is attached to the Jewish people, and the universal and unique God of all creation. Using Adonai instead of the Lord also has an impact. It reminds us of the name by which the universal God is known, in particular to the Jewish people. Adonai is not God's name. The name is understood to be unknowable and unpronounceable, so the word calls attention to the eternal mystery that surrounds God. Finally, one more interpretation, if you're not all confused by now. It's offered by Rabbi Yehuda Aryeh Leib Alter of Ger. He was a Hasidic master known as the Sfat Emet. And he wrote, the meaning of Yod He Vav He, or Adonai, is one, is not that he is the only God, negating other gods, though this is true, but the meaning is deeper than that. There is no being other than him, even though it seems otherwise to most people. Everything that exists in the world, spiritual and physical, is God himself. Sfat Emet espouses the most radical form of monotheism. Everything is God. We breathe God. We exist within God. We are a part of God. The idea that God is any way separate from us or from anything we experience is an illusion. There's nothing that God is not. So the next time, not tonight because we already did it, maybe tomorrow morning, the next time you recite the Shema, whether at services or at bedtime, whether sung loudly or whispered, whether 3 times a day or once in a while, whether standing or sitting, you can try to wrap your mind around all these meanings. What's your intention when you say those words? Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai alone. We declare as a people that we Jews have a unique relationship with our God. We declare that God is a mystery, who simultaneously can be our intimate partner and our foundation of all. We declare that God is all. This is our password for identifying God in our lives. While it's not a secret, its meaning is not apparent on the surface either. It's not a test for discovering other Jews, as Dr. Fleischman might have liked. But it is a test to discover the Jew that hides within ourselves. Shabbat Shalom. Announcements. They're there on the pulpit where the microphone is.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We are delighted you are here tonight. Also, those of you in YouTube land, we're delighted that you are with us. And I'd especially like to welcome any new members and guests who are here with us. Rabbi Lipper is excited to meet the members of Temple Sinai, and we have scheduled a few lunch and happy hour times to meet. If you would like to meet for lunch, join Rabbi Lipper at Pecan Creek Grill on Eldridge Parkway, right around the corner from the temple, on August 31st at 12 noon. If happy hour works better for you, please join Rabbi at the local bar on Westheimer Parkway in Katy at 6 p.m. on August the 30th. Please mark your calendar for August 13th, that's tomorrow, when Rabbi Lipper will begin Bible and Bagels at 10 a.m. on the second Saturday of each month. Please join Hava for Lunch and Learn every Thursday at 12 noon via Zoom. You can reach out to Hava for the link. Her email address, in case you don't know it, is learning@temple-sinai.org. Our first Thank God It's Shabbat service and dinner will be on Friday, August the 26th at 6 p.m. And then on Saturday, August 27th, everyone is invited to Temple Sinai for hot dogs and Havdalah at 6 p.m., which should be fun. And then our first day of Temple Religious School is Sunday, August 28th at 9 a.m. If you haven't registered your child yet, now's the time. If you shared someone's name for Kaddish, please let their family know by sending them a Kaddish card. In addition, if you said a Mishaberach, the healing prayer for someone tonight, please feel free to send them a Mishaberach card. We have those cards at the temple building. Again, Shabbat Shalom, and it's good to see everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
And one last thing, thank you, Carol Osterman, for continuing to bring us challahs. For those of you online, you are missing it.
We appreciate it every week. So let's turn now in our prayer book to page 283. And rise for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, latet gedula le'otzer breshit, shehu sam helkeinu liached et shemo, v'gor aleinu lahamlich malchuto, va'anachnu kor'im, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech, Malhei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. On page 287, let's read together. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding, loved each of us for the peace we bring to others, succeed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand, but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, freedom, and of peace. V'nehemar v'haya Adonai Melech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. You may be seated. On page 291. There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light long, long after star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly. Their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. At this sacred time, our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race, nation, and faith, whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. This Shabbat we mark the yahrzeits of Joseph Arbesman, father of Richard Arbesman. Benedict Berner, father of Karen Olener. Richard Patrick Brandt, father of Michael Brandt. Vera Korn, mother of Maria Korn Michael. Cecile Rosenthal Leopold, mother of Pamela Lowry. Selma Levin, mother of Judy Bluestein Levin. Robert Morris, loved one of Jill Seltzer. Sheldon Rosenbaum, cousin of Carol Levin. Edna Shevin, mother of Wendy Endelman. Jacob Steinhardt, father of Ruth Herman. Any additional names for Kaddish this evening? For all of them, we say Zichronam Livraha. May their memories be a blessing. And together, we turn to page 294 and rise as a community for Kaddish. Yitkadav yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divarach hirute, v'mlech malchute, b'chaye echon v'yom echon, v'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael, b'agalav izman kariv imeru, amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivarach, lama lamea lamaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach, pa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmeid kudsha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nehemata dam iran b'yalama v'imru amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav v'yaseh shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn, and bring comfort to all who are bereaved among us. And let us all say, Amen. Please be seated. Let's conclude our service on page 340 with Hevenu Shalom Aleichem. Hevenu Shalom Aleichem. Hevenu Shalom Aleichem. Hevenu Shalom Aleichem. Hevenu Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Aleichem. Hevenu Shalom Aleichem. Hevenu Shalom Aleichem. Hevenu Shalom Aleichem. Hevenu Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Aleichem. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. So please join us at the table in the back of the room for Kiddush and motzi and sweets. I hear a babka's in the room and a bread pudding somewhere.